It's exhausting for women in Hollywood.
Oh,
I think we need
poor
Justine
women.
Bateman here for this.
So this is from
It's from Variety.
Don't they mean buy?
Let me see how. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Thanks, Alan. Thank
Got
you
it.
very much.
I found the button. Yeah. Florence Pugh says it's exhausting for women in Hollywood. Recall seeing god-awful headlines about how Keira Knightley isn't thin anymore. Florence Pugh recently told the Sunday Times that it's exhausting being a woman in Hollywood. The 28-year-old Oscar nominee has has been a working actor since she was a teenager and can relate to headlines recently by Keira Knightley, who was publicly shamed by the press after Pirates of the Caribbean franchise made her a worldwide star at just 17. There are fine lines women have to stay within. Otherwise, they are called a diva, demanding, problematic. And I don't want to fit into stereotypes made by others. Pugh told the publication, it is really exhausting for a young woman to be in this industry and actually other industries. I remember watching this industry and feeling that I wasn't represented. I remember god-awful headlines about Keira Knightley isn't thin anymore, or watching women get torn apart despite being talented and beautiful. The only thing people want about is some useful crap about how they look, and I didn't care to abide by those rules.
What do you guys think of this?
Well, on the heels of what's happening with Sydney Sweeney right now, I can kind of get what she's saying. Look, but this is just part of the job, man. Part of your job is to be a public figure. You lend yourself to this, right? And best believe men go through this too. Male actors go through this. I mean, look at Orlando Bloom, man. He gets blasted every time he steps foot out the house for the way that he looks now, right?
Yep.
So it's not just the women. I mean, the men go through it too, but obviously the women go through it way more than we do, right? I get what she's trying to say. The problem is that there's just too many of these articles now of what sounds like, I'm not saying it is, but sounds like women complaining about yet another thing.
What motivated this article?
Yeah. You
I
think
think
dangerous when you took it, right? That's
how
I
think it originated from
go ahead.
Keira Knightley, getting older and not looking the way she does. She did in the past, and so it's this the image that women have to maintain in order to stay in Hollywood.
Which is fair. It's fair what she's saying.
It's been true forever.
But also, we also have more actresses that are moving into their 40s, 50s, and 60s that are still commanding the big screen. Nicole Kidman has a film coming out, totally sexually charged, erotic corporate thriller, where she's quite frankly, apparently really into it. It's called Baby Doll.
Yes, I've seen the movie.
Okay, you've seen it. Now, tell me she's not a sex symbol in that film.
She is
hot as F. And it's like this idea that I think that, call it the patriarchy, call it whatever you want. This stuff has changed. You've got Charlotte Rampling. If you've ever seen The Night Porter, she was hot AF back in the 70s, man. And she's still killing it as the Reverend Mother in Dune. I wouldn't kick her out of bed, and she's pushing 80. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think that the insinuation that only women have to adhere to like standards of beauty, or when it comes to their work, like Hugh Jackman is like going to extremes to maintain his physique just to get that one shirtless shot, and Deadpool and Wolverine had to like dehydrate for like 48 hours or something. Like, that's crazy. And everyone was like saying how wonderful like he looks and how great he looks, and he is still having to maintain that, even though I think he looks great in the first X-Men. I think that's fine too, but those do exist for male actors as well, and probably more so with like superhero movies and things. There's even more so that expectation. So I think it's even more so exhausting for men at times too. It's just,
I think it is true that men can ease through their different epochs easier than women can.
True.
Yeah, look at Russell Crowe. I mean, he's gone older. He's gone older.
Russell Crowe, by the way, there were a lot of cameos in Kraven the Hunter. Did anyone catch Russell Crowe was the Blob?
Yeah.
A mutant. No, that was a joke. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Yeah, I mean, also I think that that story is kind of like they caught her in a candid moment. I mean, I hear her point, but you're right, Elaine. Like there are standards for. I mean, I don't think that Hugh Jackman was eating a lot of pizza on the set of Deadpool and Wolverine. He stuck to his diet, along with Ryan Reynolds as well.
I think she might be referring to even Oppenheimer, because she looked like a real woman in it as opposed to a model. She didn't have a model body in
She's
it.
never had a model body, but she's got a model's face. Like that's the thing that really sells more so.
But I did
Oh my
hear
God,
people
she's so
complain.
sexy.
I did hear people like assholes complain about the fact that, wow, she just looks like a regular woman. And people have this expectation of just how hot a woman.
What does that even mean? No, she looks like a regular woman. It's like all women look like regular women for the most
She's
part.
not Ariana Grande or
you know what I mean.
Well, I'm sure there are weird, like the minority that have, they have an idiotic take, I guess, but I don't see the majority of, even in the media, of any like backlash. I don't remember anything with Keira Knightley's figure. I don't know what she's even referring to in this, but I feel like that's just probably one random article, and you kind of gotta ignore that because the vast majority of people, I don't think, have an issue with Keira Knightley or Florence Pugh's physical
definitely never
assets.
heard anyone say Keira Knightley was fucking fat or anything like that. Yeah,
But if you look at what's going on right now with Sydney Sweeney, in those pictures,
that's
that came out,
retarded.
it's like it's you do have a lot of idiots who I guess have never seen a
Some
real
of them
woman,
are women too.
quote
Women are giving
unquote,
Sydney
like they've
Sweeney a
never
hard
seen
time.
like a woman's natural body. It's like,
Right.
guess what? Anyone could take a bad picture. Anyone
Those
could
weren't
have
bad picture. I thought people were like, look how good she looks without makeup, and like look at the
That's what
muscles
I
she's put
thought.
on for the boxing. And then I saw the story. It's like, oh, people are saying this looks bad. This is what a
it's
chick without makeup
crazy,
looks
right?
like. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
guess what? If
It's
you're
insane.
bending over a little bit, sometimes it's not going to be flattering, right? In the frontal area, like it's just part of being human. But
this-
But I
this
think
isn't-
with these
this-
actresses, they got to figure out like, okay, look, everybody's going to have something to say, So I think Sydney Sweeney had the perfect response. I had put up a video about that. She had the perfect response for all of this nonsense because she just said, hey, look, I'm an actress. This is what I'm doing. And she posted like an entire video of all the comments people were making about her, and she just laughed it off. And I think that's what all of these cats need to do. You're millionaires. You're making a ton of money. You're in the public eye. Everybody knows your name, and you're going to get some feedback from some people that is, probably less than respectable. But at the end of the day, look, this is the job. The job. We all got bullshit on our jobs that we got to deal with. And this is just part of her job that she has to deal with. So I feel like at some point in time, just like, look, ignore the nonsense. All right. Don't come out and cry about it or whatever. I'm starting to have more respect for the actresses that just like, I always talk about Jenna Ortega. That's just nose to the grindstone, getting the work done. People are going to make their comments on social media and whatever. It's like, yeah, whatever. Okay. I'm about this work. And I appreciate that more and more because there's so many actresses and actors as well that are just coming out whining and complaining. It's like enough, man. That's the job.
Again, I don't understand this because these comments and situations have been around for as long as tabloids have been around. The most popular edition of the Globe and Enquirer especially are those long photo shots where they show David Hasselhoff in the surf on some beach in Hawaii with his gut hanging out, right? And then they show, 3 women who are still really, really good and still in good shape. And the 3 women, they show 5 women who are hot and 5 women who are not. And they do that every single month. I mean, it's been around forever.
Also, we're seeing things like, I'm a huge Kate Winslet fan. I've always thought she was incredibly beautiful. I always had a thing for her since I first saw her in Heavenly Creatures. If you watch what she did in Mare of Easttown, she looks like a real woman. She wasn't wearing makeup, and she has a sex scene in there. And it was the most naturalistic. It was really hot, even though a lot of people would say, wow, she's letting it all hang out. But that's why it was hot, because she was, in terms of authenticity, verisimilitude. Kate Winslet to me is she's my overlord of what I love about modern day stardom. She's outspoken. She's unbelievably beautiful, and she's nothing if not authentic. And that Mare of Easttown performance was an all-timer. And she's leading the charge. And yet you still get these articles like this when you have people like Kate Winslet setting the tone. All power to her. And Nicole Kidman, for that matter. Even though she has work done, she's still out there fighting the good fight every single day. So are people like Reese Witherspoon, that whole group of women that can now get anything made at whatever series they want, because they'll not only produce it, but they'll be in it. They are wielding power like the bosses they are. And I think we're seeing definitely a shift brought about by people like Shonda Rhimes. I mean, but we're seeing actresses that are acting their age, not trying to be 20 years younger. They're not Norma Desmonding it all now. It's a pretty amazing time to watch what some women, some of these powerful actresses are doing in Hollywood. We've never seen it before.
But I think the other thing we have to be careful about too is, we have to remember these actors are, for the most part, they're getting asked questions by reporters, and they're kind of they're trying to be honest in their answers, and what the reporter would do obviously is take the juiciest line and print that first, right? So it'll sound like they're complaining when the reporter asked them that question like 30 minutes down the line.
Is this the gayest movie ever? Like that type of shit.
Exactly. They've already answered a bunch of questions, and then they'll throw something like that in, and they answer,
Yeah, you made a good point.